SGLT2 inhibitors represent one of the most successful therapeutic innovations in decades, transcending their initial use as glucose-lowering drugs to establish themselves as potent cardiorenal protectors across multiple chronic disease states. Today, we'll dissect the cutting-edge science behind these agents, delve into their real-world performance, profile the current cohort of SGLT2 inhibitors, highlight late-stage trials and pipeline advancements, analyze the competitive landscape, and discuss their integration into clinical practice. 1. Scientific overview. SGLT2 to sodium glucose cotransporter 2 is a membrane protein located in the proximal renal tubules, responsible for reabsorbing approximately 90% of filtered glucose from the urine. Inhibition of SGLT2 reduces glucose reabsorption, leading to glycosuria and reduced plasma glucose levels. Beyond glucose lowering, SGLT2 inhibition reduces intraglomerular pressure, improves natriuresis, and alters energy metabolism, giving rise to significant cardiorenal protective effects. These effects are largely independent of their glycemic action, too. Real-world evidence RWE large registries such as CVDREAL, EMPA-REG, and 𝗜𝗡𝗛𝗜𝗓 have demonstrated consistent reductions in hospitalization for heart failure (HF) and progression of chronic kidney disease (CKD) among patients using SGLT2 inhibitors. Observational studies show SGLT2 inhibitors reduce major adverse cardiovascular events (MACE), all-cause mortality, and albuminuria in diverse populations including elderly and those with comorbidities. Benefits are evident even in non-diabetic populations, for example, CKD with normal glycemia, broadening their clinical utility. 3. Cohort of SGLT2 inhibitors. Currently marketed agents include empagliflozin, Jardiance, Boehringer Ingelheim, Eli Lilly. Indications: 𝗔𝗔𝗓, HFrEF, HFpEF. CKD. Strong data from EMPA-REG outcome, emperor preserved. EMPA-KIDNEY. Dapagliflozin, Farxiga, AstraZeneca. Indications: 𝗔𝗘𝗓, HFrEF. CKD supported by 𝗜𝗡𝗛𝗜𝗓, DAPA-HF. DAPA-CKD canagliflozin, Invokana, J&J. Indications: 𝗔𝗘𝗓. CKD backed by Canvas and Credence trials or 𝗏𝗏gliflozin, Steglatro, Merck, Pfizer. Indications: 𝗔𝗘𝗓 evaluated in Virtus CV trial neutral CV impact epragliflozin, 𝗬𝗟𝗛𝗏𝗡, and tofagliflozin, available in Japan, Korea with limited global penetration. Emerging combination agents, SGLT2 plus DPP for example, or tugliflozin plus sitagliptin, SGLT2 plus metformin, fixed dose combinations, dual SGLT1 half inhibitors, for example, so tagliflozin expanding to postprandial control and G modulation. 4. Novel modalities and combination strategies. Newer therapeutic strategies include sotagliflozin lexicon, Sanofi, dual SGLT1, SGLT2 inhibitor. FDA approved for T1DM in Europe and for heart failure in the US. Soloist WHF scored trials inhaled SGLT2 inhibitors and gut-selective compounds in preclinical development, aiming to reduce systemic exposure while retaining efficacy. Fixed-dose triple therapy, SGLT2 plus GLP-1 metformin under exploration for ultra-compliance in high-risk populations. SGLT2 inhibitors in oncology. Preclinical studies show potential in prostate and breast cancers through metabolic modulation. 5. Clinical trial pipeline and late-stage studies. Select trials. EMPA-KIDNEY positive phase 3 data led to FDA expansion of empagliflozin to CKD patients without diabetes. Dapagliflozin showed significant HFpEF benefit, further expanding its label. Flow semaglutide with background SGLT2 use subgroup analysis provides synergy insights. DAPA-Me and EMPA-KIDNEY exploring early SGLT2 initiation post-myocardial infarction. Biotech collaborations and investigator-led studies continue to explore SGLT2 use in liver fibrosis. NASH NAFLD polycystic kidney disease, systemic sclerosis-related renal involvement. 6. Market landscape and competitive positioning. Global market for SGLT2 inhibitors in 2020 exceeded $13 billion, with significant growth expected due to expanding indications. 7. Emerging indications: cardiovascular and renal health, heart failure. SGLT2 inhibitors now core therapy in both HFrEF and HFpEF across ADA, ACC, and ESC guidelines. CKD, robust risk reduction in albuminuria and GFR decline, including non-diabetic kidney disease post-ME remodeling. Trials show improved ventricular structure and reduced rehospitalization, atrial fibrillation. Exploratory endpoints suggest potential rhythm-stabilizing effects, obesity, and weight loss. Modest benefits, approximately 2-3 kilograms loss, but synergistic with GLP-1s. 8. Strategic considerations and future outlook. SGLT2 inhibitors represent a paradigm shift from glucose-centric to cardiorenal metabolic care. Their role is being increasingly integrated into multimodal chronic disease management, first-line therapy in high-risk populations, real-world driven guidelines, and value-based contracts. The future landscape will include combination injectables, SGLT2 plus GLP-1 or GIP, more cardiorenal endpoints in non-diabetic populations, precision therapeutics using genomic and proteomic data to guide SGLT2 responsiveness.